ISO 9001-2015 Quality Management System requirements were revised in September of 2015. This short video will explain some of the changes and introduce new terminology used in the 9001-2015 standard. The ISO 9001-2008 standard used the term product to explain the output of a company or process. The 2015 standard uses product and services. The term stakeholder has been replaced with interested party. Another change is the elimination of management representative. The rationale behind this is leadership will take more of an active role in the management of the quality management system. Another change is from documents and records to documented information. Preventive action in the 2008 standard has been replaced with risk-based thinking and improvement. The ISO 9001-2015 standard is based upon the 7 quality management principles: customer focus, leadership, engagement of people, the process approach, improvement, evidence-based decisions, and relationship management. First, customer focus. Customer focus is defined as meeting customer requirements while striving to exceed customer expectation. The idea is to attract and retain the confidence of customers and other relevant interested parties, interact with the customer, which will provide more opportunities to create value, and understand the current and the future needs of the customer or other relevant interested parties who contribute to the sustainment of the organization. Leadership is expected at all levels of an organization. Leadership establishes the unity of purpose and direction. Leadership creates the conditions in which people are engaged in achieving quality objectives. This enables alignment of strategies, policies, processes, and resources. This also improves communication and increases effectiveness and efficiency in the organization. The standard differentiates between leadership and top management. Top management is defined as the person or group who directs and controls the organization at the highest possible level. They have the ability to delegate their authority and also provide resources. They are ultimately accountable for the successful implementation of the quality management system and its continuing effectiveness. The next quality management principle is engagement of people. Competent, empowered, and engaged people at all levels of the organization are essential to enhance the organization's capabilities while creating and consistently delivering value to the customer and other interested parties. Leadership is required to determine and ensure necessary competence for those who are performing the work. Leadership should recognize and acknowledge people's contributions, learning, and improvement. Leadership should promote personal development to facilitate engagement of people. The process approach was used in the 2008 standard and remains a viable way to define, measure, and improve the overall quality management system effectiveness. The process approach not only allows a singular view of each individual process, but it also allows a system-level view of the linkages, interfaces, and process interactions. Processes that are defined, measured, and improved should produce consistent and predictable results. This improves effectiveness and efficiency of the entire quality management system and enables optimization and focused improvement efforts. Improvement is another quality management principle. Improvement is essential for an organization just to maintain the current level of performance. Organizations that do not strive to improve will certainly regress in their performance. Improvement helps address internal and external risks and opportunities, enhances customer satisfaction, and allows the correction and prevention of undesired effects. Improvement helps the performance and overall efficiency of the quality management system. Evidence-based decisions allow leadership and top management to make decisions that are more likely to produce desired results and reduce the undesired outcomes. There is much greater objectivity and confidence in evidence-based decision-making. This increases the understanding of important cause and effect relationships within the quality management system, and it increases the ability to demonstrate the effectiveness of past decisions. Relationship management is a new principle in the ISO 9001-2015 standard. Relationships with interested parties influence the performance of an organization. Relationships with providers and partners will certainly produce risks as well as opportunities. These risks and opportunities can feed into the organizational risk-based thinking. A well-managed supply chain provides consistency and stability of the organization. A new term in the ISO 2015 standard is interested parties. An interested party can include providers, partners, customers, owners, employees, retailers, producers, consumers, end users, investors, regulators, competitors, beneficiaries, opposition groups, professional organizations, accreditation organizations, community members, and society as a whole. Risk-based thinking is required for certification under ISO 9001-2015. Risk-based thinking and improvement have replaced the preventive action section of the 2008 ISO standard. Organizations must plan and implement actions to address risks and opportunities. Those actions must be proportionate to the potential impact of the risk or opportunity. Risk is defined as the positive or negative effect of uncertainty. In the 2015 standard, organizations are required to consider both negative and positive risks and the treatment of both. For negative risk, the organization will surely want to reduce its exposure. For a positive risk, the organization will want to exploit the effects. We begin our discussion of risk-based thinking with one of the quality management principles. The process approach is defined as the system-level view of linkages, interfaces, and process interactions. Using the plan, do, check, and act cycle, we are able to consider opportunities as well as risks. Since the PDCA cycle is iterative, the risks and opportunities will change dynamically based upon influences to the organization. Risk treatment is the proactive management of risk using countermeasures and controls. Risk is often expressed as a combination of likelihood and consequence. Likelihood is the probability of an event occurring or recurring. Consequence is the possible impact of an event characterized as effect or influence. An effective risk management strategy involves proactive and iterative risk identification, risk ranking, risk treatment, and risk monitoring. Risk identification determines factors that could cause a process or the entire quality management system to deviate from the planned results. Usually, a risk register, risk log, or other risk computer software is used to record the risks. The risk rating places the risks in order based on frequency, likelihood, severity, impact on objectives, monetary consequences, loss of customers, legal exposure, impact on interested parties, and other ranking criteria developed by the organization. Risk identification in the ISO 9001-2015 standard begins in Clause 4.1, understanding the organization and its context. The organization shall determine external and internal issues that are relevant to its purpose and its strategic direction and that affect its ability to achieve the intended results of its quality management system. The organization shall monitor and review information about these external and internal issues. Some things to consider when developing the context of the organization, as well as risks and opportunities, are the vision statement, the mission statement, policies, objectives, strategic objectives, strategies, the infrastructure of the organization, the legal exposure, technological challenges, competition, the organizational culture, the geographical location, and the organizational knowledge and performance, historical information and data. Next, ISO 9001-2015 requires actions to address risks and opportunities in Clause 6.1. The organization shall consider the issues referred to in Clause 4.1, which is the context of the organization, and the requirements referred to in Clause 4.2, which identifies needs and expectations of interested parties. The organization shall determine the risks and opportunities that need to be addressed. Clause 6.1 addresses risks at an operational level. Some considerations during this process are context of the organization, which is Clause 4.1, the needs and expectations of interested parties, Clause 4.2, the quality management system objectives, processes and controls, resources, improvement needs, customers and customer requirements, organizational changes, product and or service requirements, external providers, audit results, and analysis and evaluation results. Some risk treatments that may be used include avoidance. Avoidance is simply eliminating causes, changing the plans, discontinuing the activities, or otherwise avoiding the risk altogether. Mitigation reduces the event probability, limits the exposure, and reduces the impact to the organization. Mitigation strategies are the most used of the risk treatments. Some organizations may accept the risk. Acceptance takes no action and accepts the consequences. Transference is removing impact and or consequences by reassigning responsibility. An example of transference would be purchasing an insurance policy that would cover the capital outlay or the penalties of a risk. And finally, exploitation. Certainly, when we have a negative risk, we are hoping that we can decrease the impact. However, if it is a positive risk, we may very well want to increase the probability and also maximize the possible effects of that positive risk. Another crucial element of risk-based thinking is risk monitoring. Risk monitoring is periodically reviewing identified risks, identifying new risks, both internal and external, ensuring proper execution of planned risk treatments, and evaluating the effectiveness of the actions taken. We will now focus on leadership and commitment. The ISO 9001-2015 standard requires the demonstration of leadership and commitment by the members of top management. There is special accountability for the quality management system effectiveness. In the past, things may have been delegated to lower levels of the organization, creating a situation where responsible parties through delegation did not have the authority or the span of control to cause changes to occur that would ensure the quality management system remained effective. The 2015 standard puts the accountability squarely on leadership and top management for the quality management system effectiveness. There are several sections of the standard that speak to the organization considering or establishing certain criteria or requirements for the quality management system. When the term organization is used, it is referring to leadership and, more especially, top management. Leadership is at all levels of the organization, whereas top management is the very top layer of the organization. Top management is ultimately responsible for the effectiveness of the quality management system. We begin our discussion of leadership and top management requirements with the plan, do, check, and act model. Leadership and top management will need to clearly define policies, provide resources, and establish and communicate objectives. Leadership and top management will need to ensure processes are created, that they are predictable and consistent. Leadership and top management must ensure there are measurements and metrics to evaluate and analyze. Audits, validation, and verification will evaluate the controls of the processes and also the fitness of products. That information will be communicated to leadership and top management so actions may be taken to ensure the quality management system is effective. The first thing that leadership and top management must do is establish the context of the organization. Leadership and top management must determine external and internal issues that may affect the strategy and define the purpose of the organization. Leadership and top management must understand the needs and expectations of interested parties. This begins by identifying interested parties to the quality management system. Once defined, the organization shall monitor and review information about these interested parties and their relevant requirements. This is an iterative process. It is also input to risk-based thinking. In Clause 4.3, leadership and top management must determine the boundaries and applicability of the quality management system scope, the risks and opportunities that can affect conformity of the products and/or services, and the ability to enhance customer satisfaction must be determined and addressed. The focus must be on enhancing customer satisfaction. However, nothing will replace meeting the customer's basic requirements, nor should organizations find themselves in a position of having to offer something free or rebates or discounts to make up for the fact that they are not meeting the customer's basic requirements. Customer satisfaction perception, Clause 3.9.2, discusses the perception of customer satisfaction, reminding everyone social media can be a wonderful tool. However, it can also be the death knell. This should always be considered, not only when using social media, but in dealing with the customers. Negative comments from your customers will certainly affect your business. Top management must demonstrate leadership and commitment with respect to the quality management system by taking full accountability for the effectiveness of the quality management system. Many ISO registrars will begin future valuations and audits by interviewing top management and leadership to ensure they are managing the quality management system. Top management shall establish, implement, and maintain a quality policy. That quality policy must be appropriate to the purpose and context of the organization. It must support its strategic direction as well. The quality policy must provide a framework for setting the quality objectives, and it must include a commitment to satisfy applicable requirements. Remember, quality management system must satisfy basic customer requirements and aspire to delighting the customer. However, the basic requirements must be consistently met. Also, the quality policy must include a commitment to continually improve the quality management system. The quality policy must be available and maintained as documented information. It must be communicated, understood, and applied within the organization, and be available to relevant interested parties as appropriate. Interested parties go beyond the core organization, and there should be a conscious and deliberate effort to define the interested parties and their needs and expectations. The quality objectives must be created at relevant functions, levels, and for processes as defined by the organization. The quality objectives must be measurable, and the effectiveness of the controls or the plans to achieve the quality objectives will be evaluated during review of the key performance indicators, metrics, and measures that support the quality objectives. The 2015 standard also requires the quality objectives to have a clear plan of action or an execution plan. as part of effectiveness if they are not on track to achieve the quality objectives. They should have a corrective action plan to get them back on course to achieve the objective. Clause 6.2.1 requires that the organization establish quality objectives at relevant functions, levels, and processes needed for the quality management system. Those objectives shall be consistent with the quality policy. They must be measurable, take into account applicable requirements, be relevant to the conformity of products and services, as well as enhancing customer satisfaction. They must be monitored, communicated, and updated as appropriate. These quality objectives must be maintained as documented information. When planning how to achieve the objectives, the organization shall determine what will be done, what resources are required, who will be responsible, when it will be completed, and how the results will be evaluated. The organization must also ensure that people who do the work are aware of the quality policy, they're aware of the relevant quality objectives, they are aware of their contribution to the effectiveness of the quality system, including the benefits of improved performance, as well as the implications of not conforming with the quality management system requirements. Again, the accountability resides with leadership and top management. Top management is also accountable for engaging, directing, and supporting the people who contribute to the effectiveness of the quality management system. They are also responsible for promoting improvement and supporting other relevant management roles to demonstrate their leadership as it applies to the specific areas of responsibility. Top management shall ensure that the responsibilities and authorities for the relevant roles are assigned, communicated, and understood within the organization. Top management shall assign the responsibility and authority for ensuring that the quality management system conforms to the requirements, ensuring that the processes are delivering their intended outputs, for reporting on the performance of the quality management system and on opportunities for improvement. Top management shall ensure that the system maintains its integrity during times of change. This can be clearly illustrated by making sure the organization has the resources needed to achieve objectives, and also ensuring the organization is not overwhelmed with too many objectives or with objectives that are too aggressive for the organization to effectively achieve. Top management must determine what needs to be monitored and measured, what methods will ensure the effectiveness of the quality management system, when the monitoring and measuring will be performed, when the results will be analyzed and evaluated, and they must retain appropriate documented information to illustrate conformance. Top management must analyze and evaluate appropriate data and information arising from monitoring and measurement, and this information must be used to evaluate conformity of products and services, the degree of customer satisfaction, the performance and effectiveness of the quality management system, to ensure that planning has been implemented effectively and the plan is on course, the actions taken to address risks and opportunities have been and remain effective, to ensure the performance of external providers, and analyzing and evaluating the need for improvement to the quality management system. Performance evaluation is covered in Clause 9 of the Standard. However, viewing this illustration may help to show how the communication and the evaluation process could be modeled. To manage, you must communicate and monitor. So as we see, the highest level of the evaluation is the overall quality management system review. Communication flows in and out of these management reviews. Metrics and measures are taken from each process. The evaluation of these leading indicators, metrics or measures, will help ensure the desired output will come to fruition. Audits and inspections are independently collecting information on these processes, which is then reported into the management review. The management review enables top management to evaluate and make decisions to ensure the effectiveness of the quality management system. Top management shall review the organization's quality management system at planned intervals to ensure its continuing suitability, adequacy, effectiveness, and its alignment with the strategic direction of the organization. Appropriate actions should be taken to make sure the quality management system is effective. Items that must be covered during the management review are the status of actions from previous management reviews, any internal or external issues or changes that may be relevant to the quality management system, information on the performance and effectiveness of the QMS, including trends in customer satisfaction and feedback from relevant interested parties, the extent to which quality objectives have been met, process, performance, and conformity of products and services, nonconformities and corrective actions, monitoring and measuring results, audit results, performance of external providers, the adequacy of resources, and the effectiveness of actions taken to address risks and opportunities. In this illustration, we see the processes are operating at the bottom of the page. However, one of these processes is not producing the intended results. And that may either be a trend in audit results, as in this example, or a trend in the key performance indicators. That information is fed into the quality management system review and evaluated for actions, which will then flow back into the operation. The effectiveness of those actions will then be evaluated during future management reviews. The outputs of the management review prescribed by the ISO standard include decisions and actions related to the opportunities for improvement, the need for changes to the quality system, and resource needs. The organization must retain documented information as evidence of the results of the management review. Not only must there be a record that the management review took place, but more importantly, the decisions, actions, and results of the management review must be retained as documented information. In closing, remember, leadership and top management are responsible and accountable for the effectiveness of the quality management system. I hope this short video has been helpful in explaining basic requirements as well as the leadership and commitment requirements of ISO 9001-2015.